This video, in all ways possible, is not meant to go after the Daybreak devs, to attack them, to nothing. I absolutely have nothing against the devs themselves, or the testers, or anybody working on the game actively. This is simply to share a situation that has been going on that needs to be talked about. And once again, this is in no way, shape, or form meant to be harm to anybody on the Daybreak dev team. Not in the slightest, nothing at all. I genuinely just want to be left alone, and this is a last resort, I fear. So I just need to make that clear. I have zero hate against the dev team. I have zero hate against the testers. I have zero hate against the game. This is simply because it needs to happen. So now that that's out of the way, let me share what's been going on. To start off, the goal of this video is not for anybody to pity me whatsoever in the slightest. The goal is not to make anybody feel bad, hurt anybody's feelings. No. The goal of this is so I can clear my name, share my side of the story on what has been happening, so people can leave me the fuck alone. That is all I want. I want people to leave me alone, stop harassing me, stop spreading hate on my name because they feel like it. And that's it. See how simple that is? So we can get into the context. And this will be a lengthy video. I apologize. But it's needed to clear my name. It's very needed. So let's start off with where this all began. This began with my friend group involving myself, Agosto, Blockster, and Octi. Those four people, we were four good friends. Now, we had dealt with a lot of drama, that we did not want to associate ourselves with anymore. We had dealt with a lot of negative people. We had dealt with a lot of people trying to spread hate on our name. And we didn't really want to associate drama anymore. So me and Agosto decided to come together and make a server where we don't have to talk to negative people anymore, where certain people cannot be invited, so we can get away from drama, get away from all that negativity. Just a server for everybody to be happy in. A simple, harmless idea. Well, that server is called the Downtown Lounge. I made it. It's my personal server for close friends and people who like to play Daybreak. Well, long story short, the person we specifically did not want to associate with was being associated with through Octi. So, cut the context down, we banned her from the server, we stopped talking to her, end of story. And because we had trusted Octi for such a long time, and we had gotten betrayed, we didn't feel like our server was very safe anymore, if that makes sense. We did not feel like it was secure enough, secure and away from drama. So what I personally did, because I was sick of the shit, I told everybody, all 50 members within my server, to friend me so I could see if they have any mutual connections with the certain people we simply do not want to talk to. And it's not any petty reason. The specific person we don't want to talk to is a stalker who stalked Agosto for quite a while. So we rightfully did not want to speak to him or have any connection with him. So I had everybody within my server friend me so I could see their mutual friends. One of those people was Big Guy Joe. Now, at the time, I did not know much about Big Guy Joe. I knew that she liked to draw. I knew that she had a very bold personality. I knew nothing other than that. So now that you have context, we can move on to testing. When Brenda had put out the announcement message that she was looking for artists, I said, okay, cool, I'm gonna apply because out of the 35K people, surely I won't get picked. This is just like a little fun thing. No, I got picked to be an artist, and I was very shocked. I was very happy. I told all of my friends that. They all congratulated me because I had been playing the game since the beginning of Daybreak 2 had released, and I was very happy. So, I get into the testing server, and it is a very relaxing community. It was shy of 30 people, I think, within the server, and yeah, I did not have a problem with anybody in there, and I still don't. The server had a thing for artists, a document where all the information of the characters was put there. Everything that they needed, from player cards to emotes to pins, it was all there. And if you wanted to draw that specific thing for that specific character, you went into the document and you put your name there, you drew the whatever it was for it, and then you sent it to the server and you put a check mark, and it was just a simple, very simple method. And then there was paycheck. The paychecks were very simple. It was a very simple method. There was a specific server where you put everything you had completed, a list, and then Brenda would go through and pay you for it. It was very simple, very clean. I liked it. It was something that I had enjoyed doing for a very long time. Well, a couple weeks after I had been an official artist slash official tester, I saw that the server was looking for people who were just for testing. And I had seen people invite their best friends, invite their friend group, people who wanted to test, stuff like that. And so, my friend group, being a part of a bug hunting group that was associated with Daybreak 2, I said, hey, this seems like a good idea if I invite them because they're super good at looking for bugs. The people I had invited was Agosto, Blockster, and Octi. And this was before we knew all the stuff that Octi had done. Got them into the testing server and we just tested and we made jokes here and there. We were like, oh my gosh, we're in the big leagues, and just it was very fun. It was very heartwarming to see the whole friend group finally happy. Fast forward, and Octi had done the things she did. We, banned her from our server. She got banned from the testing server and banned off Daybreak, and that was the end of that. So now it was just me, Agosto, and Blockster. Within my server, Big Guy Joe had asked to join, and she wanted to be in there to draw art, and I personally did not respond to her, being that, again, at the time I didn't know her that well. I didn't know if I was even allowed to have more artists in there. I personally ignored it. And then I think a week went by, and then Agosto invited Big Guy Joe to the art server. Nobody said anything, so I was like, wow, oh my gosh, there's so many people in here who are associated in my server and the testing server. That's so cool. And so Agosto had made an announcement within my server saying that, hey, we got Big Guy Joe into the testing server. It was wonderful. Well, about 4 hours later, Big Guy Joe had gotten banned because somebody from my server had sent the developers screenshots of Joe saying slurs. Now, I did not know all of the slurs Joe had said. I had asked her. She said the F slur, the T slur, and the N slur. And I asked Joe why she said those things, what the hell is wrong with her, and she said that she can claim them. She said that she is part of the LGBTQ, she used to be trans, and she's part Nigerian. So me being a random person on the internet, I didn't question it. If you can claim them, you can claim them. I left that situation alone, and I talked to Agosto a lot, saying I don't know if I'm very comfortable with having Joe in my server anymore. I ended up blocking Joe for a little bit just to try to get things to settle down, see where everything goes, see if everybody wanted to get her banned from my server, because I just did not know what was going on in that department. So until it settled down and we came to a consensus, I left it alone. Mind you, I had stated that I was uncomfortable with having Joe in the server, and I was told by several people to not ban her, so I didn't. And I had had her blocked for a lengthy period of time. Fast forward a couple weeks later, and I get a message from a dev saying that they do not want me on the dev team anymore. And to be more specific, it was the developer Mikey. And Mikey had stated, and I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but Mikey had stated that they do not want me on the dev team because of my situation in correlation with Big Guy Joe. Obviously I was very confused. I tried to, fight my way back to the testing server because I felt like that was a very unjustified ban. I showed that I had Joe blocked. I wasn't associated with her. And then I remember Mikey saying something along the lines of a certain person who had rated the document where we put our art. I think Erica was the name. They had said that that's actually Joe's alt and I had them friended, blah, blah, blah. Well, Erica had joined my server, and like I said, I friended everybody within my server. So I didn't know who she was. I was just checking if she had Elysian friended. Do I know if this is Joe's alt? I don't. If I did, I wouldn't have had it friended. So that alt joined my server a lengthy period time ago. I'm not stalking people's profiles to see if they changed. Nothing. So once again, I fought with Mikey. I try to fight for my spot back, and I sent the screenshot of me having Joe blocked. Mikey then replied, "Hey, could I see the mutual connections?" I showed Mike the mutual connections, and they then stated, "Okay, thank you, but we still are not comfortable having you on the dev team, blah, blah, blah." That was heartbreaking for me, but I didn't fight my way back as hard as I thought I was going to. I wasn't going to try to be a Billy Badass about it. I accepted it. You know, if they wanted to ban me for that, then whatever. I sent Mikey a message. I said, "You know what? I accept your guys' decision. I won't fight with you guys on it. I do really appreciate you guys accepting me in the dev server. I appreciate the time. Thank you so much. Have a great day." That was pretty much the conclusion of me being on the server. Now, jokes were made here and there. I did say, like, "Oh my gosh, guys, don't say the F slur or you'll get banned from the server." Because, again, at the time, I thought Joe had gotten banned for slurs that she could say. I wasn't notified that she said anything other than that at the time. I now know to this day that she said more than what she had told me. And I do know that Joe was no longer part of my server. So yeah, jokes were made here and there, and we were just having a laugh. No, I wasn't really dwelling on me being kicked out of the server. I knew in the end I didn't do anything wrong, but yet I'm not fighting for a position in a fucking Roblox game. I'm a grown-ass woman, like, let's be real. So fast forward, and I guess the devs weren't very happy with me after the fact that I said to have, like, a good day or whatever. After the fact that I accepted my ban, I had joined in a server a normal daybreak round, a normal daybreak round, and somebody said, "Oh my gosh, wait, are you Cade?" And I said, "Yeah, I am Cade." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, did you draw the Cade banner?" I told them I did, and it was somebody who had viewed my art, which made me very happy in my soul. I was very thrilled that somebody had recognized me because of my art. And they said, "When will you be making more art for the game?" And I said, "I am no longer a part of the team, and I would not like to dive into it because it's a dumb reason, but I won't be making art anymore, so the art in the game is what you got." So an individual within the server spoke up and they said, "It wasn't a dumb reason. I seen the screenshots, blah blah blah." So that had me really confused if stuff was being spread around, stuff was being spoken about me behind my back, because I knew that the devs spoke behind people behind their back in a very poor manner. They kind of dehumanized them a little bit. And so I knew that they were going to speak about me. I didn't really care. They can say what they want. End of the day, I'm my own person. I don't really care about that. So fast forward a couple weeks later, and things are leaked from the testing server. And I know about the leak because an individual from Prekeeper server had texted me because they knew that I was once a artist slash tester for the game, and plus I am the head moderator for Prekeeper server. So they messaged me. They said, "Hey, do you know what's going on? There's a whole TikTok account that's leaking the Daybreak stuff. Is any of this true? What's going on?" And I said, "Yeah, that's horrible. Let me go text the devs." And so I did. I texted Brenda. I texted Hell. I was like, "Hey, there's some people leaking stuff from the server. Here's the link. Boom. Have fun." About 30 minutes later, I get a text from one of my friends who's a tester. And they said that the devs were very convinced that it was me who leaked stuff without proof. They said that, "Oh yeah, no, Cade leaked stuff. Cade did this. Oh yeah, no, it was definitely Cade. Oh yeah, Cade is an insecure piece of shit for leaking." Now, obviously, I'm confused because I'm the one who sent it over. I'm the one who sent the link over, letting people know, "Hey, there's somebody leaking shit." And I guessed that the April person that had texted me from Keeper server was like telling the devs that we leaked shit together, and now the devs just believe that that's true. And the whole thing was that after proof was sent that I did not leak shit, they straight up ignored it. Because after that whole thing that April had said and stated, which I knew was utter bullshit, I texted Keeper about it, Prekeeper, because I'm the head moderator. I texted Prekeeper and I was like, "This person needs to go. They are texting the devs trying to get me banned from the game, and they're just lying on my name." And Keeper was like, "Oh yeah, go ahead and ban them." So I did. After I banned them, they had stated that they never knew me. They never spoke to me before. They had told me what was going on. Nothing. So they just contradicted themselves, which I found to be extremely funny. And even after that was sent to the devs, they ignored it. And I do think that the cherry on top about that whole situation was that there was two people defending me. I won't name the other person, but I'll name Kopi. Kopi was defending me, saying Kay did not do that. Kopi was then threatened to be banned for defending me. Ain't that some shit? Now, again, I'm not. Now, again, I'm not gonna dwell on the situation. I don't really care. But when people constantly try to bring me into drama, especially on shit that I did not do, it really pisses me off. So after the whole leaking shit came out, they were trying to ban me. They it was just such a big deal. It died down because they found out that I did not leak shit, and I knew the messages that were sent in that testing server. So I messaged Hell because I know that Hell is grown as fuck, just like me. And I was like, hey, instead of talking shit behind my back and pretending that I did shit that you don't have any proof on, let's talk like normal adults and try to get this whole thing resolved. Something along those lines. Now, Hell never responded. Of course they didn't. I'd also like to add that once all this came out, I first sent that message to Hell, but I also sent a message to somebody else, which was the Zenith person, because I knew the shit they said. They know they're in the wrong for saying that shit, but they're not gonna come apologize to me. They said that shit within a server that they think is contained, that they think their information is safe in. But little did they fucking know there's somebody showing me every message they say about me. Every single message that they talk shit about me with, it's sent to me. I can see it. Majority of the people that are in the testing server are my friends. And they won't say who because I told them not to say who. But majority are. And it's kind of funny. But another thing that they did that I thought was a little weird is that they were talking about they don't know how I'm a head mod in Keeper server and blah blah blah. Bro, they joined Keeper server for like 2 seconds and then they immediately left. Do I know what they were doing? Fuck no. Do I care? Fuck no. It just looked weird. Like some stalking behavior, but I guess you do you. Whatever makes you happy. So I left that whole situation alone. Again. I did not care about it because in the end of the day, I didn't get banned from the game. I was still able to play with friends, whatever. And the harassment kind of just kept going. People kept constantly talking shit behind my back, thinking I didn't see it. And people were spreading around that I was friends with a racist. I was doing this, I was doing that, with zero proof. And it's very sad. It's very sad to see. So now I would go on to the end topic of the TikTok DMs. After this whole thing came out, I was very shocked that the people that I used to look up to, almost, in a way, the people who I was hoping to be my coworkers, my art friends, turned out to be so shitty. So I was very shocked. I didn't really want to play the game anymore. I didn't really want to support it. But I put those feelings behind me. And I played the game with my friends, trying to forget the whole situation. Until I get a TikTok DM. Actually, I get several. From accounts that were made, burner accounts, saying horrible stuff. Just horrible stuff. That is in relation to me, quote unquote, leaking stuff. These are obviously very triggering messages. These are obviously messages that I, for one, never, ever, ever will think is okay to say to somebody, especially over a fucking Roblox game. Because let's put in the scenario that, let's say I did leak shit. Let's put that scenario in. Even if I did, saying this to a person is never okay. Never. And I am a very strong woman. I am not going to dwell. I am not going to cry. I am not going to be sad over, well, better way to put it. I'm not going to be sad over people who are sad with themselves. If you have to go to the length of texting these nasty messages to people, I know that you're sad yourself, and I hope you do get better, and I hope you stop being a piece of shit. Now, do I know if this is a dev or a tester or an artist? I don't. But do I know that this information was not made publicly and the only people who know about it are the people in the testing server? I do. I do know that. I know that somebody who was very angry with me had sent this message to me because they just absolutely hated me. And the messages just keep coming. I know this is the same person. This is the same person, just how they type. There's no way that this is a group of people. This is the same person trying to harass me. And for what? End of the day, I am very disappointed in the dev team. I am very disappointed. What the fuck are you guys doing? Like, genuinely, what are you guys doing? I looked up to you guys for a very long time because I thought you guys were really, really talented when you made the art, when you made the voice acting, when you made the characters, the maps, the whole game. I was fucking stoked when I joined the server. All to turn around and get blamed for something I didn't do. To get banned for something that needed more context that you guys fucking assumed shit over. And then to be sent TikTok messages from possibly one of the people in your server. What's going on? Like, what are we doing as a collective whole? What are we doing? So, that is all I have to say. Again, I just want to be left alone. If I did not get sent those nasty TikTok messages, I would not have to go to the length of making this video at all. But this is a way to spread awareness more and clear my name so people can stop harassing me. Because not only was the TikTok messages nasty things, they sent me my address. Now, granted, this is not my current address. This is my old address. That is still way too close for comfort. Over a Roblox game. I am very fucking disgusted with the people that I devoted my time to, with the people that I spent hours talking to and making art with. I am very fucking disgusted. And I seriously hope you guys grow and change as people. And I hope when you finally become mature and happy with your lives, you stop harassing people like this. Okay? Now that is all I have to say, personally. And I will give time to let the head tester and/or a very well-known tester for the game speak for himself and his views on it.
I am the tester who goes by Agosto, and I'm speaking out on how I've been feeling the past months and my opinions on everything that's happened. And just to preface this, I'm not attacking anyone, I am just giving my side of everything that's happened and clearing up stuff that people don't want to clear up. But to get started, there's a lot that I have to talk about. This is going to be very lengthy, so I'm going to save all of the all of the, I guess, beginning parts for later, and just explain why I'm even speaking out. I've been thinking about this for months. I haven't because I've been dealing with a lot in real life, and so my mind's been preoccupied. To preface this, not I don't think that's the correct way to say it, but to add on to this, I'm a minor. I recently turned 16. I live alone, and I'm getting ready for university. So don't spam my DMs over this. If you have any questions, I mean, I guess that's fine. It might make me a bit uncomfortable, but sure. But if you're just gonna be sending in death threats, then just grow up. Like, been there, done that. You'd be surprised the amount of threats you get over map changes, including map changes you didn't make, but you're blamed for. But we'll not get into that. Let's not get into that because that's a whole other story. The debris community and how toxic they can be, and how atrocious DMs from randoms can be, with private accounts, throwaway accounts, whatever. But okay, I am recording this because my good friend Cade has been accused of and slandered over stuff that she never did. Let's get this started. Cade was removed from the artist team, and she didn't have any issues with the dev. She got removed, and she was moving on. Then people started slandering her, and she was removed because she was friends with someone called Big Guy Joe. I'll get into Big Guy Joe in a minute. There's a lot to unpack with that individual. Okay, removed because she was friends with Big Guy Joe. And to explain something real quick, well, there's two things to explain. Number one, Cade was kind of friends with Big Guy Joe, but people didn't really care to know the full story. There's a server, private server for friends, and Big Guy Joe was added. They said slurs. Some were reclaimable, some weren't. They got kicked from the tester team for that. Cade, when Joe was first added and would say the slurs that she could reclaim, Cade was very uncomfortable and wanted to kick her and was convinced to not kick her. Cade obviously has Joe added, but Cade and Joe weren't really good friends. And I have screenshots, I have proof, if needed, and if I'm asked for them, then I'll provide them. I have screenshots of Cade stating herself that she wasn't really comfortable with Joe, this and that, but that's for another thing. So let's not act like they were good friends. No, it's always been rocky. It's been rocky for a lot of us. I'll get into that later. Cade was accused of leaking when she didn't because of some DMs from someone called April Blooms and something else, and how Cade was apparently the one supplying leaks. And then there was proof that she didn't know this person, weren't friends with them, and this person admitted themselves that they were lying about Cade and stuff. And all of that proof was just kind of tossed aside and ignored for some reason. By the way, I say this sarcastically because no shade, but I feel like they just wanted a fall guy and Cade became the scapegoat. Yep, let's blame Cade for the leaks and move on. Even though these leaks could have been anyone, and Cade was already moving on from being kicked a while back. And leaks happened before Cade was even an artist and before Cade was even kicked as well. But yeah, the time leaks happened and this around the time not even around the time she got kicked. She got kicked a month or two earlier than this, unless my time is severely horrible. But it felt like a while. Or maybe 4 weeks, I don't know. They were leaked after she got kicked. Quite a while. But no, she's blamed for it. And then they're like, oh, she's friends with this racist, this and that, she's a horrible person. Being slandered across multiple servers. In-game as well. Getting doxxed. Death threats. Threats I don't know if I could say on TikTok without it having to be censored, so I won't say it. But just think of the grape emoji and then just go along with threats, and that's what you'll get. But yeah, let's explain. She never leaked. She deadass never leaked, and she wouldn't care to leak. And she's getting all of this shit. I guess, bro. Okay, let's go into Joe. Now, Joe was a really good friend of mine. Okay, maybe not really good. It was a weird thing. good friends of mine, but not the kind of friend that I'd be close with. I think that's the correct term for it. Joe. I met Joe around December of last year. I've been in this community ever since the start of 2025, around February and that. So I've been here for a while. Became a tester, this and that. A bit known. Around December, a situation happened. I don't want to rehash this, but I have to bring it up for the full context. There's this player called Alyssa. I used to be friends with them. Stuff happened, no longer friends with them. They stopped, used all accounts, they got called out. Mind you, there was a doc posted on him that I didn't make, but I was blamed for it. A friend made it for me. I didn't even want to deal with the situation, and they volunteered to make it, and people decided to blame me for that being made. Sure, I guess, bro. And all of this happened. To add on to this, Alyssa accused, I don't want to reveal anything, but you just have to know Alyssa accused other people of stuff they didn't do. There's proof they didn't do it, and it was serious accusations. It was multiple things. We're going to move on from that. Joe defended me against all of this. That's how I became friends with her, even though Joe would love to say some weird stuff that put me off guard. And so I remember having to DM Joe multiple times to tone it down. So I guess we were friends. But it's had to watch her. And let me see. This is around the time where I was better friends with Cade, because Cade also helped me with the situation. And this is where I become good friends with Cade. Cade is the reason I'm a tester, by the way. Cade is the reason I'm a tester, because she recommended me, Blockster, and Octi, which those are two other people. Other things to get into. Which, let me say this. Blockster was removed as a tester for asking why Joe was removed. Joe was removed for seeing slurs that she couldn't reclaim. Blocks just wanted to know everything that was happening because Joe was a good friend of his and he was confused, and plus thought that she could reclaim all of them, which it also was a very interesting thing. Not interesting, it was a dilemma. I don't want to get into it, but I've had way too many conversations over this on why if you used to be trans but you're no longer trans, you can't say the slur. I'm sorry, you can't say it. Move on. But let's gloss over that. Okay. So that happens. Blocks is removed silently, without warning. And wow, that was where I was okay, why was he removed? He just wanted to know, okay, did he ask a bit too much? Is that what happened? Damn. She was a good friend of his. And he just wanted to know why, and who would do it. This and that. But anyways. Cade's removal was because she was friends with Joe, even though she wasn't friends with Joe. While they had each other added on Discord, she had Joe added, but it was very rocky. It was a very rocky situation because she wanted to remove Joe and this and that. Joe had people friends with her, and so she didn't, to protect the peace, whatever that. Of a private server, mind you, a private server. There's another thing that comes into this. Cade was asked to know who else had Joe added, and this was around the time I had Joe added, because, as I said, Joe helped me with something that was annoying me, bothering me, stressing me. Obviously, I added her. I would play Daybreak with her, this and that. And so they asked her, she showed, but nothing happened to the rest of the people. Now, I can only speak on myself because I don't know how everyone else feels. But Joe has done a lot of stuff. And then a new situation happened, which involved another tester, and involved another tester. It involved entering someone's account and threatening to delete their account without their permission over some petty argument or whatever, something related to art. And that's where I got really pissed off at Joe. Because you can't be doing shit like that. You can't be doing shit like that, and I don't care who you are, you can't be defending that. And so I made her apologize to deadass everyone in that situation. Because we were all uncomfortable. I remember this all happened. So Joe has been problematic, yes. But I don't know why Cade is getting so many strays. Cade did not leak. So first off, Everyone who's slandering Cade, friends with the racist, Cade has always had this iffy feeling about Joe. And I can say this myself. Because I've been through all of this. I've witnessed all of this. Cade has always had an iffy feeling. Cade did not leak. She doesn't give a fuck about leaking. She is a grown-ass woman who has a job, has to pay the bills. She's dealing with IRL issues, and you think that she's gonna be leaking for a game? No. And there's proof that she didn't even leak. So why are we doxing her, threatening her, doing all of this to Cade when she doesn't deserve this? And then the people who defend Cade and speak out are either like hushed up or ignored. There's quite literally proof on her not leaking, and she's getting all this slander across different servers, and I'm witnessing this, and I was gonna stay quiet because I am tired of Daybreak drama. So much bullshit has happened. Groomer related, pedophilia related, the solstice bullshit, and I'm tired of it all. But this is just pissing me off because Joe's ban was 100% warranted. No one can say otherwise. But then the silent removal of Cade for just being friends with Joe when Cade was honestly thinking of cutting Joe off, and then the way it was so unprofessional about it, and then everyone just getting strays. Are we serious? What the fuck did Cade do to you people? And this is a message specifically for the devs, because I know when this video is posted, I am getting so kicked off. But I'm gonna be honest, when this video is posted, I'm leaving the server myself. Because witnessing everything that has happened, you know, being the tester, kinda... I'm just tired. I can't lie. It's not fun anymore. Multiple friends of mine removed for, being friends / asking. Bloxer and Cade. These two people removed. And, like, just witnessing that already. And then everything that has happened to Cade, and there's proof. And I've seen screenshots, I've seen the threats, I've seen so much. I've seen all of the slander. Just know, I can't stay silent anymore in good faith and witness all of this happening because it just annoys me so much. So I have to give my own opinion on this. I do not want to call out anyone in the dev team or the tester team, but this is a message I will give specifically to the people who have been slandering Cade like crazy. And this is not supposed to be a personal attack, but I hope that each and every one of you learn to think before you speak, learn to look at both sides, learn to look for proper evidence, and learn as well to treat situations with more care and to be less like sheep-like and think more. Just look into it more. Because a lot of you people, and I'm not going to name names, are just slandering Cade like crazy. This and that. Friends with the racist, leaked, horrible person, toxic. And it's just me seeing that. It's like, okay, kind of friends with Joe, wanted to cut her off, wanted to ban her, and I have proof of this, and so does she, and she was willing to talk about it like a mature adult in DMs, but she was ignored. Oh, funny. The leak stuff, y'all don't even have proof, because the person who claimed it confessed that they were lying. Let's get that straight as well. And so it's just, I need y'all to mature. Like, listen, I get it. It's easy to just target someone and then put all the blame on them. But can we just mature? I know asking that in this community is hard. Like the Daybreak community, it's hard to ask to mature. But after everything I've seen, in a funny way, the toxicity's died down a little bit in the past year, I suppose. Although I also think it's because the fan base is smaller. But it's like, the reason this community is shit on so much is because of stuff like this. You're dogpiling on someone who didn't even do this. You refuse to look at evidence that she didn't do it. And then it's just so much dogpiling. Can we just mature? Like, can we just, have we learned nothing? Look at the Solstice drama, look at everything that's happened. I don't want to bring up other names because it's touchy subjects. But I feel like I'm repeating myself. Can we just learn to mature? Everyone who was like, oh, slandering Cade, showing DMs in multiple servers, screenshots, even though she's innocent. And I'm saying this as someone who has witnessed all of this go down. And you can say that I have a bias or whatever, but let me just start with this. I was good friends with someone, and then they did a lot of shit, and I cut them off. I can be friends with someone, but if they're doing something, I will have to cut them off. If it's that bad. In some cases, I have to call them out and then maybe stay friends with them, see them change. And it's different variables that matter. Very depends. If Cade was the one who actually leaked, then yeah, I'll call her out. Now I'm not gonna cut her off completely because they're just leaking for a game. That's not something that's gonna make me cut off like a 1 year long friendship where she's helped me through stuff. But I will call her out if she actually did it. But I know she didn't do it. She's innocent. The Joe thing, my goodness, so much has happened. I've had so many mixed opinions. I've had to just, I remember that day. I was very pissed. I don't want to get into it. But so much bullshit happened. And full shade to Joe. Like, we have to stop with the victim blaming. Not victim blaming, the victim mentality. Yes, there you go. Actually, yes, also victim blaming. I'm not going to get into it, but both. Mind you, this situation also made Cade very uncomfortable. So yet again, I have to preface, how are we just turning everything into, oh, Cade sucks, Cade is a bitch, Cade is friend with a racist, Cade is this and that, Cade is toxic. What? Hello? Can we be mature for once? Can we have an actual conversation instead of just blaming the same person without proof? And the people, if they're watching this, if they're listening to this, you know damn well who you are. I've seen your messages. I've seen the stuff that you've said. I've seen the screenshots you've sent. I've seen everything you've said about Cade, and I've remembered all of it. And I want you to know that you have to learn to grow up. You have to learn to mature. Because this is a fucking Roblox game, and you're trying to target someone over leaks that she didn't do. Can you please just mature? Because number one, half of you are grown-ass adults yourself. She's a grown-ass woman. Can you, if you have issues with her, just talk it out like grown-ass adults instead of blaming her for stuff she hasn't done. How is it that anytime anyone asks, you immediately go off to slandering her? And I have a couple of names in my head, but I'm not going to say them. And this includes some members of the dev team too. Yes, I will call that out. Some members of the dev team saying some wild stuff about Cade. Like, come on, I'm just tired of this all. I know when this is posted, I'm no longer going to be a tester. That is 100% certain. But I don't regret what I've done. I feel like, in my time of being a tester, I've helped improve the game. Even if people want to send me threats, I did my part. I'm moving on with my life, and I can't in good faith just stay silent and continue being a tester when all of this is happening. And listen, if there's a tester watching this and they understand my point and how Cade is just being bashed for stuff she hasn't done, but you don't want to lose your testing position, that is 100% reasonable. I understand that. I stayed quiet because I was having fun being a tester. I've been having fun, talking with the people I've talked with, meeting the people, the fellow testers, fellow artists. I've had fun. I've had a lot of fun. But I don't know, just witnessing all of this that has happened, it's left a sour taste in my mouth. And I can't really orchestrate my words that well because it's almost 2 a.m. for me. But I can't really sleep without at least saying what's on my mind. This has been a long-ass recording, but listen. If y'all don't want to come out, if you understand what I'm saying and see what's actually happening, and y'all just want to stay testers, I fully understand that. Because I was there. And yeah, if there's someone who has like any questions, you can DM me because it's 2 a.m. I don't know if I'm articulating myself well enough, but you can DM me. You can ask me questions. I don't mind answering. And the point of this is just to show that over the like year and a half, I witnessed so much go down, and I've witnessed all of this. Like at first it was just the community itself, but then it became the dev team and the tester team. Shame on you to the people who just bashed Kate without proof. Because she was dogpiled. I was there. I witnessed everything. I've been in multiple servers. I've seen everything. Now I haven't commented on it, but I've seen it all. And Cade is aware as well. And you know, that fucking sucks. Imagine you were an artist for a game and then you got kicked. And you accepted it. You moved on. No ill intent to the devs. And then all of this happens. And then you're doxxed. You receive DMs bashing you. Oh, how dare you leak. I hope you get raped. I hope you die. Like, are we serious? To just one person? First of all, over goddamn leaks. That second of all, she didn't leak, as I've stated 100 million times. But y'all motherfuckers just wanna bash someone because you can. You want a scapegoat, even if you don't have proof. Because why not? It's a lot easier than to just accept that you don't know who actually did it. Because, oh, a common enemy, right? So yeah, let's jump on the bandwagon. But yeah, that's like all I have to say. I might, I might re-record this or say something differently because it's 2 a.m. and I'm not really articulating myself as well as I'd like. I'd hope I'm getting my points across and how I felt overall, but it is what it is. I guess the last thing I want to say is I had fun. It was fun. Sure, there were some ups and downs, but I had fun at the end of the day. Well, it lasted at least. And, you know, originally, this was never, like, you would have never seen this recording come out of me. But stuff happened. And when I saw the death threats and the doxing happen, and there's proof of that, and there's screenshots of that and everything. So don't even try to say I'm lying, because we can pull that up real quick. But when that has happened over something that isn't true, I can't in good faith just stay silent anymore. So yeah, no longer a tester, no longer affiliated with the testing team, the dev team. I don't know anything. And you guys love to, accuse people of leaking so much. I don't plan on leaking anything because why would I? I'm part of the people who even helped like balance the current stuff anyways. I don't care about leaking. Don't even try to harass me because you're going to be wasting your time. I said what I said. This is my opinion. This is my perspective. And this is how I felt, fully unfiltered. And I'm sorry if you have an issue with it. But it's just how I feel. And you can't change that. Because I know what happened. I know she didn't leak. And there's not much else I can say. Like, I'm not gonna leak anything. I don't care about that. Don't expect me to apologize for some bullshit when I haven't done anything. Worst I did was stay silent for so long, honestly. I should have come out with this sooner. I don't know why I didn't. But here we are. That is all I have left to say, honestly. Just people have to learn to move on and grow from the situation, and this community needs to learn how to stop being such a hellhole. That's just all. That's all I have to say.
Hi guys, it's me, Blockster. I want to help shed some light on some of the stuff that's been going on in the Daybreak community, and mainly how it has affected me and the people around me in like a really bad way. Like, for starters, I don't appreciate how toxic the overall community has been, especially to my friends. Even worse, how it feels like the devs, like the developers of Daybreak, didn't like take any proper action or like help in any way, shape, or form, or it may have even encouraged such like terrible, bad behavior, and like just like unnecessary drama and hatred towards them. Like, for one, all the hate towards Cade, it's just absolutely absurd. She was blamed and banned by the Daybreak developers testing team for something she didn't even do. And now people are leaving like hateful messages, like on TikTok accounts, alt accounts, just leaving hateful messages, slurs, death threats, and even trying to dox her for something she didn't even do. Because people believe that she was responsible for like linking. And despite the fact that there was like no proof, no evidence, nothing that pointed to Cade, it's just, oh, she's the one responsible. And now people are like hating on her for it, even though she didn't do anything. And I hate how the developers like don't take like any real proper action to anything. Like, they had no evidence. They had no reason to believe it was Cade. Like, the real person that's responsible for leaking is still there in the team right now, and they get away with it while an innocent person is being straight up hated on every second for something they didn't do, and it's all because the developers blamed her for it. And it's just not fair. Like, no matter how much you believe something, you can't do it without any proof, any evidence, anything that says, hey, it is that person. And I've also heard that allegedly the developers, this inkling to believe that Cade was responsible is ties to some other person that Cade knows or may know. And that doesn't make them guilty, but to the developers' eyes, it does. And the community overall, the toxicity of how they just like have to use this overwhelming force of hate to someone that didn't do anything, nothing. Everyone, like, nobody, like, even thought for a second. It was just instant. And as for my friend Xerium, the struggle of like being one of the main testers of the Daybreak team while dealing with other people's hate towards him has just been a lot. Like, seen it, like how many people have had like really negative or like bad opinions on the changes he's made, especially the map balancing changes to the game. And that's fine. I understand if people have like opinions for that stuff. That's completely normal. But go so far to like hate on someone for it, like say all these bad things, all these slurs, all this just drama because he's doing his job as a tester is just too much. And like, once again, the developers just idly sit by and don't do anything about it. It's like the community as a whole is toxic and the developers aren't helping. And it's just really messed up. That's just how I've been feeling about the whole thing and what's been going on lately. And yeah, it's pretty much